Dominic, the Fourth Amendment says that I have a right to privacy, okay? Reasonable right, okay? If I'm not doing anything wrong, they don't have a warrant, they don't even have probable cause. How did I go from having a Fourth Amendment right to privacy to some guy in the NSA saying, Rich French, okay, let's go through his phone records, let's see what he's doing online here, let's figure out if where this guy is, what he reads, who he's talking to, what kind of pictures he's taking and posting online. How didn't we just turn this thing on its head?
We may not like it, but it's called the Patriot Act. That's where this stems from. And you mentioned, you know, if they're doing such a good job.
The Patriot Act, though.
Okay, it goes well beyond it, but it starts there. You mentioned Boston, but I counter how many Bostons did they prevent. We'll never know. They don't talk about these things.
So your standard is do what they got to do. They may not ever tell me about it, but
it's not up to us anymore. They're already doing it. That train left the station a long time ago. And here's where I'm conflicted. The president said today in California, I believe he made the announcement, he said every member of Congress has been briefed on this and approved it. That's what the
you listen to Congress people today. They didn't say that.
But that's what the president said as of today.
I think he went to the intelligence committees, and some said today, Dominic, that they want to have finally a full debate on this in both the House and the Senate. That's not going to happen. Because it's classified intelligence, and they're going to have this in closed-door meetings, and it's only going to be at the intelligence committees, right? And let's face it, if you're sitting on the intelligence committee, you like it. It's a good gig. You want to stay there. You like the idea that all the secrets are coming to your committee. They're all fine with this, Republican or Democrat alike. We still never debated this.
Look, we are debating it. We're debating it right now. We've been having this conversation in the country since September 11th.
But we didn't know what we were debating. I didn't know I was debating this.
It's a representative democracy.
Didn't we debate it with the Patriot Act?
We debated the Patriot Act for like 10 minutes, and then we moved on.
No, and we thought that we were going to have these FISA courts, okay, that at least were going to be the one check and balance. These things don't even have to go through FISA courts as we understand it.
It depends.
NSA can use... There you go.
Yes.
It depends, and it's discretion.
But here's the key point that we've glossed over, is that if they are deciding to act on material that they've gathered, meaning Richard French, we have linked you to a terrorist cell because they called your phone number, now we're going to track your phone, then they're going through a court. And that makes sense because there has to be a reasonable suspicion standard, and that's what they're meeting.
How do you get
and
to
it's
the point
a federal
how do you get
judge
to
is
the point,
making
though,
the decision.
Evan, how do you get to the point where you then ascertain if I am a threat, credible or otherwise? You're just basically trolling. And you're saying it's okay for them to find out, hey, what's Rich reading? Ooh, let's read a little bit more about this. And let's check out the bank records
from what we've seen so far, and look, there is more reporting to be done on this, but what we've seen so far, I am not as worried as you are about that. What I've seen so far is that they are gathering what they call metadata, which is the huge amounts of data, how many phone calls are coming out of this zip code, where they're going, whatever it is, and only when they drill down on specific people do they then have to ask that question of a court, and that's what they do, and that's the system that we have in place, and that is fine with me.
And it's a flawed system because you have too much data there, and then you end up like a dog chasing its tail. The problem is, while someone is trying to follow a lead that leads nowhere, there's actually something happened, i.e. Boston. What happened to the surveillance, the phone calls, the emails with the Boston situation? Here you had Russian intelligence contact the FBI and say, take a look at this person. Well, why weren't they looking at the emails? Why weren't they looking at this person's telephone calls? I mean, that's targeted information.
I can't speak to what they should or shouldn't have done in Boston. I know there's already been complaints of stovepiping yet again, a little bit what we saw in the run-up to 9/11, and I'm not going to pretend to be an authority on that. I am saying under the threshold that you've laid out, that we should expect that our private information is not private to the government, but they'll only basically retain and proceed with criminal or investigative things if they find something that they find objectionable. And to me, you're letting them decide standards. First of all, you're letting them go into our lives here without a warrant or even probable cause. And then, if they decide that you're a credible threat, then the judicial process has even a minutia of at least oversight. But you're letting that first step go ahead without anybody signing off on it.
I understand what you're saying.
Kind of like guilty until proven innocent.
Well, no, because here's the difference, is that when you make actionable something that you've discovered through this process, through this tool that they have, then you're talking about accusing people of crimes using evidence that may or may not have been gathered in the right way. At that point, that person can avail themselves of the Constitution if they do get accused of something, and that data, whatever it was that
I know I'm
information was
heavy
gathered.
here, but Andrew,
then they
remind
can get out.
everybody, let's say Evan, they want to find out a lot, and they decide to use a national security letter. Give an idea to the audience. What, if the government wants to, without getting a warrant, without doing anything, by just having a national security letter, the different things they can go to people in Evan's life, and he will be none the wiser.
They can get your phone records, they can get your computer records, including some of the places that you've gone to. They can get your library books and other materials that you've checked out through the library. They can get other.
They can go to your employer?
They can get right, your employer. They can go to your credit card company and figure out where you've been that way and figure out things that you've purchased. I mean, they can get a pretty accurate profile of who you are, what you're into, and where you've been without ever getting a warrant.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of
then
this information you can get.
this is all legal, though.
Right,
I'm
but
not,
a lot
like,
of this
there's no-
information you can get without even being in the government. I mean, we do
Right.
this in politics.
You
We call
just
it.
hit the rub of it. People say right now, hey, it's 2013, you can find all these kind of things. But you're basically saying that the U.S. government, our government, is the same thing as just some like hacker out there, and because some guy that can hack it do it, let the government
This
do
is
it.
more than that. I mean, you can't go out and get Verizon's information, metadata. That you can't do.
Well,
I can
you
trace
talked to Apple right today. You talked to the biggest internet providers. They said time out. Nobody asked us.
Right.
And they were
But
supposed
that's
to
what
be
I'm talking
asked
about. I
for.
mean, that information-
We're paying Apple. We're paying these companies as consumers, and our private information that we're doing through them is being taken by the government.
Yes.
And we're in effect paying people to spy on us.
Yeah.
We would-
They're
we would-
corporations
we would-
and they have to say it for PR reasons, but they didn't say it's not happening. They said we are not consenting to it happening. We are not creating a situation where it makes
Some
it
said they
easier
didn't
for
know.
them. Yes, that's what they're saying. They very carefully because
We're going to keep
clearly
this
it is
conversation
happening.
going on the other side of this. And the question is, when we come back, if you even realize, I don't think many of us did, how often our personal data is being shared, here's the better question. Do you even care? I think Dominic's shaking his head like, no, you're on board with this. After 9/11, all bets are off. So if I'm in the minority on this one, we're going to find out after the break. And we're also going to show you how many times during the course of a day, just every day here, you are inadvertently sharing information about yourself and you never knew it. It's all straight ahead. We'll be right back.